Alright fellas, we're back at Pokemon Masters, and so tomorrow we're going to get a release of Arven and Mabostiff alongside his story event, something like a precious loving Pokemon pal. I forget what the name of it is, but I don't know, it's good. It seems like a nice event. We got the trailer for it yesterday, and we got some teasers and whatnot. Anyway, so Arven is the final Paldea arrival, other than, Kieran and Carmine, right, to actually finally arrive in the game. Yes! Let's go. He's been asked for literally ever since Nemona dropped a year ago, pretty much in his same time slot. So that's fun. But whatever. So I guess let's go ahead and take a look at his kit, see how valuable he is. And I honestly do think Arven is definitely a good support. I think he's got like a kit that is probably of a similar quality to that of like, I guess a seasonal would be the best way to put it, but frankly, a lot of these kits are so unique and have so many good abilities built inside of them that I don't really think that the banner format or like the level of quality that they seem to have, it really matters that much, if that makes any sense at all. Basically, just Arven's kit is good. Just it seems like the kit is leaning more towards that of maybe being like seasonal-esque, and I guess we'll see why in a sec, because you'll figure it out probably. If not, I can, go into it. Anyway, so Arven drops, of course, August 10th. He leaves August 28th. A lot of things leave August 28th for, anniversary purposes and whatnot. So you've got yourself pretty much 2.5 weeks to try and pull for him, see if you can get a copy and whatever else. I'm going to be doing daily discounts myself. He's a support sync pair with the Tech EX roll. EX roll, of course, is, not great, but and I don't know why they just gave him Tech instead, but I mean, sure, whatever, I guess. It is a roll of all time. He's Dark, Weak to Bug, whatever. Looking at his stats, he's got 686 health, he's got 166 attack, 160 special attack, 302 defense, 288 special defense, and 297 speed. Not crazy stats, but they're fine just in general, I would say. And with level 146 star AX, he's got 328 special defense, 342 physical defense, and 786 health. Not bad defensive stats. Offenses are still not great, and 337 speed is fine. And obviously full investment, his stats go up even higher. Over 360 in both defensive stats is very nice. Over 870 health. And offenses are still bad, but that's what we expected, even though we got the Tech EX roll. Sure, and 353 speed is fine. So not bad stats overall, especially being a support character. And looking at his moves, he's got Bite already off to a good start. 2-gauge move, 30% chance to flinch. Flinch, of course, being a universally amazing trait pretty much anywhere. That is nice. He's got Citrus Berry, which restores ally HP by 20%. You use it on an ally. It's a berry, right? We got Palatine's Victor. Who was the other berry character this month? I know there was another one. I can't think. Not this month. It might have been last month. Whatever. Fucking berry users. Anyway. I need to think. Now I really want to know. Hold on. I know we got another berry user. Is it Oak? No, it wasn't Oak. I don't know why I think it's Oak, actually. Either way. So, did we not get another? I could have sworn we had another berry abuser. I'm losing my mind. I know we got Nemona with booster energy, but oh well, whatever. Anyway, so he's got himself citrus berries, but this has some other effects inside of his kit that we'll go into in a little bit. These berries, of course, aren't good, but obviously. He's got himself his training move, Here You Go, which raises ally attack and crit by 2, and in addition will raise ally attack and defense by 2 when he is restrained. This can be a very good trainer move, of course, being able to buff defenses by up to +4, offenses to max, and crit by +3. It's basically like all of these +2 attack, defense, and +1 crit trainer moves but obviously it's put into 2 turns basically instead. It's kind of like Tiernos, except Tiernos also rely upon NPR. It's like Sonia, Hop, those type of characters, right? Aaron's different. Aaron's attack and crit, but still, you get my point, right? He's got the physical buffing stats, their physical buffing prowess that is obviously really nice. He's got himself his buddy move, of course, Bounce Back Jaw Lock, which is a 1 gauge use move, 150 power. Activation is whenever the user uses any move once, and it cannot be deactivated. The move never misses. It applies the restraint effect to the target and himself. If the remaining MP for the user Citrus Berry is 1 or more when attacking with this move, reduces those MP by 1 and increases the physical moves next of all allies by 2. And if if remaining MP for Citrus Berry is 0 when attacking, restores HP by 10% of his maximum. So effectively, this thing uses this buddy move uses Citrus Berries as its like charging factor, I guess, or energy, the way it boosts itself, I guess. And obviously, 3 uses of it will be giving allies +2 physical moves next each for up to +6 physical moves next for all allies. And of course, once it is used and all the Citrus Berries are gone, it will then start. It will stop doing the physical moves next buffing, and it will start restoring Arven's HP by 10% every time it is used, which very good healing, right? That gradual healing, always very, very nice. And of course, it can't ever be deactivated, so that's just free 10% healing for life, effectively. So that's nice. Good physical buffing prowess. Again, attack, defense, crit, and up to +6 physical moves next. That's very good, for sure. So, already looking like a very nice physical support. Passive skills, he's got Trusty Arven's Chocolate Block Cheer. Reduces MP by 1 for the user's moves that have the berry effect tag, and grants all the following effects when the user's HP is left at half or below after it is hit by an attack move or sync move. Restores the HP of all allies by approximately 30% of their maximum HP, and in addition restores the user's HP by approximately 20% of its maximum HP. This is effectively what I would say happens if you take Palatine's Victor and combine him with, I guess, as an extreme example, Champion Blue. Because, of course, Champion Blue's got himself the amazing trainer move here, buddy move, which restores HP of allies by 30%, and restores his own HP by 30% as well. It does, of course, have other effects, right? So it's obviously not as good, but it's similar in essence to that. I don't know why I'm looking at dark. Well, I know I'm looking at dark. But then, of course, if we go to Palatine's Victor, he's got a similar passive here, which restores his HP by 40% whenever he drops below half, and, of course, that consumes a berry, too. So, every time Arven drops below half HP, it will consume a usage of Citrus Berry and will restore his HP by 50% and ally HP by 30%. Just total, right? It restores total his HP by 50%. That is really, really, really good. The 30% heal alone for all allies is really, really strong, because that is 3 uses. Sure, it is tied to, of course, dropping below half in battle, so you don't get to exactly choose when it gets to be used, but that's still really strong. That healing is extremely good for team longevity, no matter what game mode you're in. High score event, damage challenge, not damage challenge. No, it's not good in the damage challenge, just the one mode it's not good in. Ultimate battles, legendary arenas, high score event, Champion Stadium, right? Like, bigger game modes, of course, that are going to be pretty much not reliant upon, but obviously having enemies that hit really hard, this is going to be just straight up extremely useful for that. Other than maybe, like, characters who want to make use of, like, wounded powers, but that's not really, that's kind of niche, I would say. Anyway, so the one thing with this is that this does, really sap down the usage of your Citrus Berry if you're trying to use it alongside Jaw Lock. And do remember that unless you're running him with a restrained partner like Costume Steven or Nessa or whoever, which actually he needs to be the one restrained, so even then, no, that doesn't factor. You'll need to at least use 1 Citrus Berry by using Jaw Lock in order to be able to buff team defense, which and also max attack, which is not that big of a deal. But it can be, right? It can be that big of a deal if, you're really trying to make that work, or you want to do those abilities. And, of course, if you don't have to. But, again, that's just something to consider, is that you will be missing out at least on 1 proc of this if you opt to use Jaw Lock and use up a berry for, better usage of the trainer move or getting physical moves next or whatever reason you pretty much want to use Jaw Lock for. Anyway. Passive skills, Herba Mystica effects, except in certain circumstances, reduces damage when the user is hit by an attack move while the remaining MP for its moves that have the berry effect tag is 0. We do not know the percentage of this. It could be 20%, it could be 30%, it could be 50% for all we know. It could be a crazy number. I'm going to say it's probably going to be about 20%, maybe 30% damage reduction, which is good, right? That's still good damage reduction, and that it works very well because, again, it only is activated when he has 0 berries left on him. So, of course, you have to have used all uses of Jaw Lock, or you have to use all of his healing passives. But either way, he's getting damage reduction from that, and that also does work in tandem with having the 10% maximum HP healing on Jaw Lock for also having 0 citrus berries left. So you will be getting healing by 10%, and you will also be having that damage reduction on top of that, which is, again, really helpful. And then he's got hit, restrained opponent, team 1 of 5 stats up 9. Raises one of the following stats of all allied sync pairs at random when the user's attack move is successful against a restrained opponent. Attack, defense, special attack, special defense, or speed. So this is how you get random offensive, just buffs in general, right? Of course, it does not buff accuracy or evasion, which would be really good, but still being able to buff one of the 5 core stats is a good ability. Again, speed for gauge management, attack and defense if you don't want to use the trainer move too often, right? You can max out your defenses and attack that way. You can buff special defense and actual special stats as well. This is his only method of doing that thus far at 1 out of 5. That is the good ability, right? Overall, that's what his kit is like here. He basically is just working off of his citrus berries as like an energy source to be able to do a few things that you may want him to do, right? If you want him to be that 30% ally HP, restorationist with 20% HP for himself, that basically heal a lot, you'll be refraining from using Jaw Lock, which will in turn mean you can't do the random stat buffing, you can't buff team defense, and all that type of stuff, right? And buff physical moves next as well. But of course, you also can sacrifice the uses of this healing ability here if you want to be able to use the buddy move to buff physical moves next, buff team defense, and of course buff random stats with the hit restrained opponent. It really depends on what playstyle you want to do, what enemy you might be facing, what team setup you have, and that does make Arven a very versatile character, I guess, in that sense, right? Where you can go for the random stat buffing or the faster offensive buffing or more effective damage enhancing type of set, or you can again go for the more sustainability set with the 30% healing and all of that stuff as well. So that just again at 1 out of 5, Arven is good at that, and obviously his grid's going to enhance that more probably. So let's go ahead and take a look at it, I suppose. And also, just to note, he's still got that 30% flinch chance on bite for what it's worth. Anyway, so Arven here at 1 out of 5, he's just got unbending. That's nothing too crazy. 2 out of 5, he gets Citrus Berry Master Healer. Pretty much not really worth considering. You'll pretty much never want to ever use the Citrus Berry by itself. You'd rather, if you're going to be going for healing, just go for his passive here. So I would just say this is something you should probably never really consider picking up. Quick Cure, Trainer Move Hit and Heal, Unflappable Lift, Trainer Move NPR, Bite Gauge Refresh, Bite Fast Track, and Jaw Lock, Move Gauge Refresh. The Move Gauge Refresh abilities are good for gauge efficiency. Fast Track is similarly good for that. This means you don't really have to run Fast Track 2 as a lucky skill in like maybe a Gauntlet setting, though frankly I don't know if his gauge would be that bad anyway to have to rely on Fast Track. But either way, of course, having it in the grid means that you don't have to worry about that. You can run something else, Vigilance, I doubt Healthy Healing would be all that helpful. Maybe Defense Crush, whatever you're fighting for the most part, you'll be able to make better use of, like, obviously having Fast Track here in the grid instead of having to use it as a lucky skill or something like that. Again, don't think he needs it, but it helps. And that's just mostly for a Legendary Gauntlet setting. Again, Gauge Refresh abilities pretty much similarly, I'd say, are good for that role. Turn Move NPR, this could be good for maxing out defenses if you do want to use it while he is restrained, or of course maybe maxing out attack without having to have Arven be restrained at all, so you don't have to use the Jaw Lock. You can save the berry usages for his healing passive. However you want to work that, you can. And Turn Move Hit and Heal, Team Hit and Heal, actually, applying gradual healing to all allies. This, of course, applying healing to all allies is really good. Gradual healing is nice. Again, battles like the Legendary Gauntlet do appreciate these team healing abilities a lot, even if it is just gradual healing for the most part. But even like outside of that, gradual healing can be pretty good for like team sustainability. Like Champion Blue, of course, among everything else he does apply gradual healing on his buddy move, as we saw, and that is a good ability, right? I mean, on top of having everything else that he does, that is still by itself very, very helpful, and could be potentially clutch for reserving, usages of his, reserving usages of his healing passive here in Arven's case. So, just in that aspect, Trainer Move Hidden Heal could be just very, very good for even, again, outside of the Legendary Gauntlet. So I would say that 2 out of 5, 2 out of 5 in my opinion is mostly reserved for the Legendary Gauntlet. You've got, again, it was like Unflappable, Lith for facing Thunder Wave users, like, Registeel or whatever, Quick Cure for getting rid of those random flinch traps or confusions. Gradual Healing is mostly helpful in the Gauntlet, but again, can be useful elsewhere. And the Gauge Refresh abilities mostly are Gauntlet-based abilities. And just the way that I look at Arven overall, like, all of these abilities are good, just in general, but I would say that they really do excel as a Legendary Gauntlet support, whether that be in a duo or a solo, whatever it may be. Arven just got a great sustainability just for that, and I honestly do think he's going to be really good for that game mode specifically. Anyway, moving on to 3 out of 5, Arven's got Bite Aggravation, Sync, whatever this is called, Physical Boost 2 on the Sync move, Safety Net, Vigilance, Sync Damage Guard, Team Sync Cure 9, Hit Restrained Opponent, Team with 1 of 5 stats up, the same passive, and then Impervious. Okay, so Bite Aggravation again, if I'm going to be talking about the Gauntlet again, flinches, right? And flinches are just so good, man. Flinches combined with gradual healing, or flinches combined with potential random stat buffing, flinches make it so you don't have to use his healing early on, right? All of this stuff, flinches are so good. Making sure that the enemy can't move, get in a bunch of sync moves, you damage higher, they die. It's a very simple thought process. He's also got himself, again, also, of course, flinches are good elsewhere, too. Like, flinching enemies in any ultimate battle that can be flinched, right? Like, that turn denial can be very, very clutch, especially if you combine it on top of other turn denial abilities, such as Freeze or Sleep. Can be very helpful for just denying enemies a ton of turns. First sync move, Team Physical Boost 2, increasing physical boost next values by 2 after these sync moves use each battle. Very good for shorter battles, right? On top of the Jaw Lock here, like in short battles where it's like stadium pre-sync or even like post-sync for the most part, you're going to be making great usages of these abilities where you're going to be just enhancing ally physical moves next by a crap load really quickly, right? Like every turn you're going to be buffing ally physical moves next by 1 with Jaw Lock here, and you're going to be having the sync move physical moves next, right? So you're being allies plus 2 physical moves next every single turn for pretty much 4 turns straight. And that's really, again, really good for short battles where you're going to be just mostly worrying about doing damage, I guess, as fast as possible. Other than the damage challenge, right? Like, he's setting up fast and then, defeating your enemy fast, right? Not damage challenge types, right? Very different game mode. Which I'm just gonna say I don't think he's gonna be good in, but I don't think I need to say that. Nah. Anyway. Hit Restrained Opponent, Team 1 of stats 5, whatever. 1 of 5 stats up 9. The same passive here. This basically just means he does double stat raising, so you can effectively try and fish for the buffs that you want at double the efficiency. How helpful is it going to be? I'm not really sure. It depends on what your team setup is and whatnot, but it could be helpful, right? You could get extra defensive buffs, special defense, special attack speeds, attack buffs, whatever you need, right? You can work around that and just try and get those buffs as fast as possible. Maybe it'll be good in the Gauntlet just for very, again, fast buffs, but again, that is also a more longer battle-paced mode, especially with support characters that don't tend to do too much damage. So, frankly, I don't think 2 uses of this passive is necessary, but I could be wrong. I don't know. And then right next to it is Impervious, so preventing stat debuffs is very, very nice. Any enemies, a ton of enemies that like to debuff stats, being able to just negate that is pretty helpful, at least just to have the option to. Gotta love that. But I'm not really sure I'm the biggest fan of its positioning. It makes sense being next to this passive, but still, whatever. Anyway, we've got Team Sync Cure 9, removing status conditions from all allies after using the Sync move. Very, very nice. Hello, Moltres Burn. This could be helpful for that. Good God, I hate that bird. Frankly, might just be better to run Flameproof though, because again, Arven's got that amazing team sustainability as it is. So I'm not really sure that. Maybe. I don't know. It's way above my pay grade to think about fucking Moltres. Either way, Team Sync, that's a pretty extreme example too. Team Sync Cure 9 pretty much just removes the need to run some of these, like status negating passives or lucky skills or whatever, or like status immunity or anything like that, being able to consistently reset potential unlucky like status conditions or whatever, like maybe late in the battle you get paralyzed or poisoned or whatever, you don't have to worry about resetting or anything like that. You can just team sync, you use your sync move, boom, status conditions gone. Point is, there is legitimate usages for this passive, and as always for pretty much most of them. And then sync damage guard, applying damage guard whenever the sync was used first use each battle. This could be good for maybe preserving usages of his healing passive here, but frankly I don't think it's going to be that helpful. Could be, of course, for taking a, again, high-powered attack and you want to preserve your healing and whatnot, but other than that, I don't see immense use in it. And then safety net and vigilance. Vigilance is great for, again, having to potentially run another lucky skill, defense crush, or again, it depends on the stage, frankly. Mind games, if you're going to be running them with a special attacking character, or just frankly whatever it is, having vigilance not have to be its lucky skill. His lucky skill is great. And then again, safety net, applying endurance to all allies after using the same move each battle. And team endurance, very, very nice, very, very clutch, no matter pretty much what you're doing. Team endurance is nice. I always love team endurance. It's so helpful. Again, there's a lot of runs in different different game modes that have been pretty much saved by endurance or like 1% HP or whatever. So again, safety net is a literal safety net. So definitely not a bad Threadify, frankly. Like just in terms of obviously the base investment of 3 out of 5, I guess. Bite aggravation is amazing. The team physical moves next can be very good for, again, those shorter battles where you just want to ramp up damage as quickly as possible, I guess. Trying to move hit and heal at 2 out of 5 is really, really good. Vigilance can be good if you don't want to run it as a lucky skill. Team Sync Cure 9 can be good for consistently getting rid of status conditions. And mostly it's just, like, in my opinion, the bite aggravation is the biggest one, right? That flinch locking is so good. I can tell this guy's probably going to get a decent few legendary gauntlet solos. I'm not sure how he's going to be handling all of them, but, like, oh boy, I really, really do think Arven's got a whole lot of potential here. Could he do Moltres? Could he do Moltres? I'm very curious on that one. Get back to me on that. Anyway, point is, Arven does have a good 3 out of 5, mostly for bite aggravation. Though I do think that for like general usage, I guess, outside of, again, the flinches are just so good in any game mode. I'm not really sure how I can talk about that, but like a lot of what Arven does in terms of like buffing the team and his sustainability, it is mostly still there at 1 out of 5. It's just that the dupes, of course, do enhance that mostly a little bit. It's not that, it can be big, of course, but just for getting one copy, I think that the increase is not as massive, I guess, between 1 out of 5 and 3 out of 5. Like, other than bite aggravation, he still gets to turn move hit and heal, which is good team healing for sure, but not as much of an increase on top of what he was already able to do, I guess. And just other stuff, I guess, like the Team Sync Cure 9 for team restoration, bite fast track for gauge efficiency, all that stuff. Anyway, whatever. 4 out of 5, he gets Team Sentry Entry 2. That is laughable. Restrained Scope 5, lowering enemy accuracy. There we go. Another Gauntlet ability. Gotta love it. Debuffing accuracy. Very, very good. Making the enemy miss their moves. So not only does he have the sustainability that is amazing with damage reduction, healing, flinches, whatever, he's now got accuracy debuffs on top of it. So if he couldn't take damage before, right, he's pretty much just unable to now as well. Okay, gotta love that. And that's at 4 out of 5, no less. And then 5 out of 5, he gets Healthy Buffer 5. I don't think this is that helpful. I mean, unless the enemy's just, like, constantly pounding you with really high-powered attacks, it could be useful. Like, maybe Tapu Bulu's Woodhammer, right? Like, maybe the first one drops you down to a relatively low amount of health. You heal back up because of the passive or, potential, I won't even say flinch luck because, you get that far with, it's going to be having flinch immunity. But like you get back up to full HP somehow, healthy buffer, make you take the next Woodhammer a lot easier, whatever it may be, right? I think that could be a case you may think about. I don't know, but point is, I don't think healthy buffer is really worth the investment. And then hit restrained opponent, attack and special attack down 9. This is helpful. Lowering enemy attack and special attack when attacking a restrained opponent. This is where the helpfulness comes in. Gotta love that. Attack and special attack debuffs on top of accuracy debuffs. So again, just another way for him to not take damage. His sustainability is crazy. And frankly, I know I talk about Legendary Gauntlet for a lot of Sync pairs just because I think everything gains a ton of value there, or has some value there, for no less. But like, Arven is just straight up built for the game mode. He's like Palatine's Victor in Neo Champion Blue if they had a baby, and then he's got like the sustainability of a lane. It's pretty crazy. You can maybe say I'm wrong there, like, feel free to correct me, but like, he's got so much healing with the healing passive, the 10% healing from Jaw Lock, the Trend Move Hit and Heal. What else has he got? I'm sure there's something I'm just straight up missing, right? But he's got all of those heals, right? He's got the random stat buffs for defense and special defense buffs. He's got the attack and special attack debuffs at 5 out of 5. Accuracy debuffs for not taking damage at 4 out of 5 here. Aggravation for straight up flinching, right? 60% chance is not bad at all. It's, you know, baseline, if anything. What more? And then he's got, again, also up to probably 20 to 30% damage reduction from the Herb and Miska effects passive. Bruh! Like, Arven's sustainability is nuts. So, I'm just thinking about Legendary Gauntlet solos. I think he's going to be great for that, but just duos, he's going to be able to carry, like, fucking, I don't know, Egg Arcanine with its double edge to victory. Probably not. Probably not. That'd be funny, though. But, like, that's the point being, he is so sustainable. And even outside of the Legendary Gauntlet, again, he's got great abilities buffing the physical side of things with in content where you want to be a little bit faster in your buffs. Again, that physical moves next buffing is really, really strong. He's got the 60% flinch chances. Is going to be great in Ultimate Battles as well in that aspect. Is he really built for that? Is he really built for Ultimate Battles? Probably not, and he's probably going to mostly rely upon his partners for any wins he does get. But still, he does have legitimate usage there as well. And that, again, team 30% healing is so helpful just straight up anywhere. And whenever we get... I was going to say, whenever we get the Dark High Score event, we just had that. If this guy would have dropped like 3 weeks ago instead of now, he would have been probably vital for the Dark Ghost High Score event to rank, not highly, but like ranking within like the top 10 or whatever. I'd say he'd be really, really good for doing that. But whatever, again, Arven is just nuts. Nuts. At least in terms of what I would think is nuts. Again, I do think he's like mostly kind of a mixture of like Elaine and Palatine's Victor. I do think there's a bit of like Champion Blue sprinkled in there with the healing ability here, but I like this kid, frankly. I cannot say I dislike this guy. I know people have been like kind of crapping on what he can do, but his sustainability is so good. His team buffing ability is so, well, not team buffing, but team sustainability is also quite good as well. Again, Trainer Move Hit and Heal, 30% healing here. Like, what else do you want, right? Well, potions probably, but still. For what he's trying to do and like making himself sustainable, he's also working really well at making the whole team sustainable. So at least at that aspect, I do appreciate this kit quite a bit. So I guess all that's left is to pretty much just see what happens when he drops in game. So let's see how Arven's sustainability in theory, I guess, matches up to how it actually is in game. I am very curious to see that, honestly. I will be keeping a little bit of a close eye on those charts, runs, and whatever else I can find just to see if I was wrong or not, because I frankly don't think I am. I think he's going to be really, really good for that. Anyway, whatever. I'll see you all later. I hope you all enjoyed. Good luck on your summons for Arven. Good luck on your saving. Of course, the anniversary is soon. Nimona is soon. I do hope I can pull him from daily discounts. I really do. He looks like a very fun character kit-wise, and of course, Arven's a good character just in general. Scarlet and Violet, rival. Of course, they're all good. So yeah, I'll see you all later. I hope you all enjoyed.